Hi everyone, welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Subham. I'm presently a gold medalist partner from India, and today we'll be having a session on Azure Machine Learning Studio to illustrate how we can predict our income based upon certain criteria. For the following process, we require some data sets, some selectors, some algorithms, then we need to train model, then we need to split, score, and finally evaluate. Finally, we will see how you can just have a demonstrated of web service through the very same process, and we hope that we would be happy to the final results what we are looking for. So without further ado, we will be just logging into our account using the sign in button on the right side of your corner on the top of Machine Learning Studio Classic, that is studio.azureml.net. And after the sign-in process, you will be moving forward to your home page where you have your overall view about your project's information, and then we'll proceed. So guys, without further ado, let's get our started. So as soon as you log in, you come to this page, which is actually an home page for all your experiments to let you know all the information like status, name, and project in it is. So to start the very new project, we need to click on the new button, which is exactly located on the left side on the left, right, and we click the blank experiment. Since we will be having income predictor on your experiment, so first step is that you rename your project to income or something, very much authenticate that you come to know that this is the project that you want to search for. So after you have made a rename, you need to make sure that you import all the datasets. In this case, I'll be using my local, or sometime can be called as samples in Azure. So I'll be dragging the datasets in here, and first thing that being as a you know practitioner, you have to understand what the dataset consists about. So right click on it and the datasets, and you need to visualize that data. It is very much important for you to understand that data, because the data you will be practicing your project, it's very much important for you to understand what is inside, what are things you need, and obviously what are the benefits that you can get with optimization of your results. So in this case, we are having columns as the age, work class, education number of years, marital status, occupation, relationship, race, sex, capital gain, capital loss, hours per week, native country, and income, right? So these are the things that we actually have. Now when you click on the statistics of the data, you would be seeing something very much important when you select your desirable column. So for the statistics, we have our mean, median, minimum, maximum, standard deviation, unique values, missing values, feature type. And on visualization, you have your histogram there, making sure that you have all the required resources or understanding of your data. So since we know the insights of a data set, now it's for us to select the column that's required for the next run. So I'll be selecting project selector. So select columns in manipulation. Okay, this you can find in under the data transformation and under manipulation section. What it does, it actually selects the column for you such that you can have your perfect column that are required for your operation. So let's just click by dragging, and when you have this, the red symbol says it's value required. So we'll be clicking on launch column selector, then we'll be taking considerable cases for the event, age, for like education number of years of education, martial status, you know and then we need to have hours per week and income, obviously, right? So when you have selected all the required columns, you need to make sure that you select this button to make sure all the things have been saved in this perfect moment. So for the experiment, we need some machine learning algorithms. For this case, I'll be taking two class boosted selection because in this case it will be I believe that not optimized, but it's an obvious selection. Later on, we can optimize things based upon our requirement, based upon what we needed. So for this section, we'll be taking the two class boosted selection. So after taking the boosted selection, we need to train our model, right? So for this one, we need to train our model. So you can have, yeah, here it is, train your model. And when you have train your model, you need obviously something known as splitter. So you need to split. I'll be describing all the details about why I'm taking this and that, so that you can have all the things on your own. And then after, we need something called score model. Yes, this was the one we need. And at the end, we obviously need to evaluate our results. Right. So okay, so in Azure, it's very much important for you to make sure that none of these are left red, right? So since the after the selection of whatever column we needed, we need to make sure that it's actually connected to the split data, because we need to align to the data we need actually. So for this case, I'll be taking the 80% of the data that should be taken as a training model, and rest it can be tested upon requirement, right? Score model. After that, when we are done doing that, we need to connect the 80% of the data to our train model, and the train model should be connected to our algorithm, right? Just a second. Connected? Yeah, it's connected. So when it's connected, so the first thing, you have your data sets, filtering out, splitting the data to 80% and 20%. 80% is trained, and the train, how it's being trained, it's been trained through an algorithm. Now when everything is done, you need to connect your data train model to something called score model, that is actually aligning you to the remaining 20% of the data, right? It will align you. And finally, the score model needs to be done connected with the evaluate model. Now you must be seeing that in this case, the 20% is not connected. So here it is. This is the result data sets 2. You need to connect it, and then you can do whatever you need it, right? So for the train model, what do you need to train? What do you want to get your output, right? We need to get the income, because it's an income predictor. So we'll be launching our launch column selector and wait for some time. So in this case, we will be just selected the launch column selector. This pop-up will become, and we need to click on the income, and yes, this should do, and click on the OK button. Now you must be seeing that none of them have the red color of errors. Now what's now? For now, we actually need to run our model. It's become too small. Okay, so let's just hit the run button. Since this is actually a betterment of Azure, because Azure provide all the resources, if your local machine doesn't have so much of resources to compile a heavy amount of experiment, and thus Microsoft Azure Machine Learning Studio helps you out through all the resources you need to make sure that your project gets compiled irrespective of what your local machine is having or not. So let's just wait for our compilation. Hope this compiles without any error. Fingers crossed. Awesome. The project has been compiled successfully, so the final results we need to make sure that we need to visualize. So visualize the final result. Awesome. Since the final result is in front of you, the model is quite successful because the graph is in the successful score dataset. So if it's in the right side of your zone, it's quite successful. If it's in the middle, it's 50-50% okay, and if it's in the left bottom side, it's actually not a good model but needs to be furnished more to become more stable. So as usual, you know that this is actually the model you want to finish, and you have your accuracy that is 0.824. So you know that this model is quite fitting to yourself, and you have all the details about them in the, if you scroll down below. So I hope this experiment helps you to understand the procedure of making an Azure Machine Learning Studio process. This was an example of Income Predictor through one of my experiments, and obviously see you in the next video with more information. Till then, take care, goodbye, have a great day, and keep smiling.